I'm not going to try and sell you the school. I'm just going to tell you about it. And wherever your child decides to go to school, we wish them all the very best, of course. What we need to do is make sure there's a very, very best fit. Now, it won't have escaped your knowledge that we are a Catholic school. So let's just talk about that a little bit. As a small Catholic school, we keep Christ at the center of everything we do. So we seek to be examples of Christ and how he behaved and how he acted. In our assemblies and our lessons, we take the opportunity to pray together. And sometimes, as you can see in this photograph here, we attend Mass at our parish church. Now, it's important to understand that not everyone who comes to a Catholic school is going to be Catholic, and neither do they have to be. At the moment, of the 196 children that we have on roll, just over half are Catholic, which means that just under half come from a variety of faith backgrounds, and some come from families with no faith background at all. The message here is all are completely welcome. Not all of our teachers are Catholic staff. That can be a bit of a myth that goes around, in terms of Catholic schooling, is that you must be a Catholic to go there. It's absolutely not the case. Okay, so our vision for our school. This is something that was brought together by governors and parents and children and staff. We are a community that seeks to live and love and learn together. Our Lady of Lourdes is a learning community. Everybody who turns up there every morning is doing the best they can and on a journey of their own making, whether you're the head teacher or the school cook or the cleaner or a member of reception. We've all got our own journey, and we're undertaking that, and we do that together. Now, the quote there is our mission statement, and we seek to be a dynamic, inclusive school. Inclusive in terms of children from various backgrounds, inclusive in terms of the diversity of backgrounds, and inclusive in terms of need. We're rooted in Catholic values and respect for all people, and we seek to be a safe place. And this next bit is key for me. We look to be a successful place where we all enjoy and are challenged by our learning. Let's talk a little bit about learning and a little bit about teaching. I came to Our Ladies in January. So I've been at the school for the best part of a year, and I am absolutely staggered by the quality of teaching staff at the school. I served my deputy headship for 6 years in an extremely large through school. So we had children there from 4 to 18. There was around 1,200, 1,300 children on roll. And when I came to Our Ladies, I could not believe how well these children were known. Not only that, but because I've got that background in through schooling and spent the best part of 20 years in secondary education, I've got a real clear idea of where these children are going in terms of their secondary education and the requirements that secondary education is going to place upon those children. My role as the head of Our Ladies is to make sure that those children are ready for their next steps. I can honestly say that in early years foundation stage, our youngest children, so our children at the ages of 4 and 5, are served by a team that is absolutely phenomenal. And when I put that down in this presentation, I thought, oh, Paul, be careful. That sounds like they're really amazing. Do you know what? They absolutely are. They absolutely are. If I was going to give my children to any team, I'd give them to these people. It's led by a lady called Pia Anscombe. There's a nursery nurse there, there's an INA there and a TA, so extra adults in the room. And when you bear in mind that our reception children came into our school on the back of a lockdown situation, the independence that they have shown in the first 7 weeks of their education has been simply staggering. They walk up to the gate on their own, they sanitize their hands on their own, they walk in, and they really do enjoy their learning. And I can tell you that because my office is right next to their classroom door. So I hear everything that goes on. Across the wider school, lessons are exciting and they're vibrant, because that's our key level of expectation. And we are supportive of all children. When I was first there, one of the first things I did was have a look at the behaviour in classrooms. And again, I was really moved by the fact that I couldn't find any behaviour in any classroom which stops the learning of the group. I've spoken to one child about their behaviour in the past 7 weeks. And that was an instance where I was talking to them about being over boisterous on a playground. This is not a school where behaviour stops learning. And that's a massive plus for me. I've already mentioned the fact that teachers are supported by additional adults in their class. We keep the ratios low as far as we can, because we think that that's the most effective way of children to be happy and make progress. Let's have a quick chat about our curriculum. Now, we know the pressures on the curriculum that come from government, which are your phonics and your reading and your writing and your mathematics outcomes, and that helps parents to some degree choose their schools. I'll talk about the outcomes later on. What we've decided to do at Our Ladies is keep our curriculum broad. And by that, I mean a full range of subjects ranging from computing and science and art and design and history and geography and languages. We introduced music in September. I happen to believe that children should leave primary school being able to read music and have appreciation of music. And I'm really sorry, but if you, well, I don't know whether I should apologise or not, but I'm going to say I'm really sorry, because if you decide to send your child to Our Ladies, they will learn the recorder and they will come home and practice it in your home. But the plus point is they'll also learn to play the ukulele as well. In addition to that music support, that music lesson and curriculum that we offer, we also support extracurricular music. So there are opportunities to have one-to-one music lessons in piano and brass instruments. And here, in this particular case, the electric guitar. This was yesterday when this young lady came and showed me Smoke on the Water. And in return, I showed her how to play Ticket to Ride by the Fab Four. The other thing we've got as well, in addition to that, is outside learning environments where children can make use of our pond area, which they do a lot in science and in art, and up in our woodland area, which children absolutely adore being part of. The only risk to that is that can get fairly messy, but the children have a fantastic time doing that, and that supports the learning that they do in lessons. Now, my guess is that your particular interest is going to be around early years, so let's talk a little bit about that. Our very youngest children, there's a picture of them there having some specialist sport warm-up in their classroom before they went out onto the playground. The focus here is helping the children develop their confidence and their skills through play primarily, as well as structured learning. So they need a lot of space, which is why we've recently refurbished that classroom. I'll show you a larger picture of that classroom in just a moment. Well, I've mentioned the team already. It's a well-established team. It's led by Miss Anscombe. Miss Anscombe has led that team for the past 14 years. She's dedicated to Our Lady of Lourdes. She will not work anywhere else. She adores her job. And again, somebody who's steeped in the skills of early years. As a parent, I feel more reassured that she's done that for so long and that she's so happy doing that. We have children coming back from secondary school to visit Miss Anscombe. Such are the memories and the vivid memories that she creates with them in her classroom. I was speaking to one parent just last week who happened to drop this in. I said I was going to be talking to prospective parents, and they said, Paul, when you talk to them, make sure you mention that when I was choosing a school, I knew there was no better start than Miss Anscombe for my children. I've also passed that back to Miss Anscombe, who was suitably embarrassed and delighted, which was absolutely fantastic. There's a better view of the classroom that we're talking about. Now, I understand that these pictures may not tell the whole story. So at the end of the presentation, I'll be talking about ways of booking tours around the school in a safe way so that you can actually see these rooms for yourself. And what comes next are some other areas that reception children use and utilize in the pursuit of their learning. Okay, so let's just have a look at these areas that we use to enhance learning. The conservatory area there on the top left with the white frame, that's the free flow area out of Miss Anscombe's classroom. So there are role play activities within that little conservatory setting where children can take on roles and use those roles to enhance their reading and their writing, and of course their imagination. You'll also see there the climbing frame, and around the corner are the water and sand tables, which are absolutely crucial for those younger children. They absolutely adore using those. The adventure trail, I mentioned before, we've got a woodland area. On the edge of the woodland area, at the top of the hill behind our school, just behind the famous black windmill that I'm sure you know about, is this area. The children call this the adventure trail. It's used to develop the gross motor skills of children in reception. As you'll imagine, they absolutely love using that. And further on underneath the oak tree at the end is the mud kitchen, which is also extremely popular with children, if not equally popular with their parents when they get home from school. But there we are. The playground area, which is the pictures on the top right and bottom right, have been astroturfed rather than tarmacked. So children, while they're being boisterous at playtime and chasing around, if they do fall, they don't hurt themselves because they're falling onto carpeted area. It's also slightly cushioned. There's a picnic area there in the bottom centre where children can sit and have their lunch. That's just adjacent to that fence that you can see there. On the other side of that fence is the wildlife pond, so we have to keep that fenced off, but children can sit there and have a look at the pond during the summer months. And the bottom left, this isn't a reception area, although they have access to it. That's the junior library, which was refurbished a couple of years ago. Reception children will pass through the junior part of the school on their way out to break and lunch, will, as they do so, will pass through that library. Some reception children use it for one-to-one sessions or for small group sessions, but primarily it's a junior area. I mentioned, didn't I, a little bit about support and one-to-one and group work. Let me just talk a little bit about how we support students with special education needs and disabilities. I'm a parent, as you know. My children are both severely dyslexic. This was one of the key things that I was looking for when I was choosing my school. I can honestly say that I've been teaching for, oh goodness, too long, 20 odd years. And I work with the best Senko that I've ever worked with at Our Ladies. Miss Gavaz is absolutely fantastic. We seek to intervene and help and support children with special educational needs from before they even begin at Our Ladies. We start thinking about transition from nursery in the January and February time, so that by the time the children come in September, they are known to us in the way that everybody else is known to us. We've got currently in reception some children with severe needs who are making staggering progress through the support of Zoe and the wider team. We also seek to support other children within the family and the wider family themselves, which again I think is an area of strength for our school. We have particular groups that are based around helping children with problems with their cognition and nurture. Particularly coming out of lockdown, we had some children, our youngest children, traumatized by lockdown. Zoe had the idea of bringing in a school dog, which we've done. The children absolutely adore Danny the dog, and that dog is well tasked in helping children and nurturing children who have special educational needs, and also adds to the community feel of our school. We have team building activities and Lego therapy, that we have wider external groups coming in to help with safety net and dialogue coaching, and we have support with speech and language therapy, as well as CAMS and victim support. If your child has got a special educational need, I would urge you to come and visit and meet with Zoe, and I'm sure you'll be as impressed as I am every day when I work with her. Okay, I mentioned a little bit about results and outcomes. I'm not going to spend too long on this. Our results and outcomes are extremely good. We're currently rated good by Ofsted, and as far as the Catholic Schools Inspection, we are rated good with outstanding features. The figures there are significantly above national averages. We're going to improve on those as we move forward into next year. There were no SATs Last year, of course, because of COVID, all the signs point to the fact that they're going to be reinstated as of next year. Just to give you a quick idea, and apologies to governor colleagues because I've not had the chance to talk to you about this yet, but just to give you a hang on how much progress children can make at our school. When we came back in September, we benchmarked all the children against reading, writing, maths and phonics. Our youngest children at the start of September, only 1/3 of them were at the place where you would expect them to be for phonics because of lockdown. As of yesterday, that 1/3 had grown to 76%. So that's a staggering turnaround from the phonics team and Karen, who leads that, in what is only 7 weeks. So that's really, that just shows you we can do the academic element as well as the nurturing element. Okay, when I was choosing a school for my children, they told me, whatever you do, make sure the food's okay. So this is the bit where I can talk to you about the catering. Our catering is all in-house, and it's run by Teresa, who's our school cook. Now, when I say that every child is known by every member of staff, that is exactly what I mean. I'm not just talking about teaching staff knowing these children. I'm talking about site team. I'm talking about the school cook. Teresa knows all the children in the school and has an encyclopedic knowledge of their dietary requirements. I do not know how she does it, but she does. At the moment, because of COVID, we are having staggered lunch times. So children have their food within their bubbles. That's not something that has happened previously. We've had different sittings come in. Children adore their food, as you'd imagine. Not all of them have school lunch. The majority have school lunch. Some of them bring their own food from home, which is, of course, absolutely fine. And they all eat together. And I eat with them. I think that's really important. I also help wipe and clean the tables because we're a school community and we're all in that community together. I know some children will raise their eyebrows and say, sir, you should be in your office. No, I should be in here with you having my lunch. And I think that's really important too. Okay, we've talked a little bit about our curriculum. What about curriculum enrichment? Well, I'd be telling you something false if I said that this hadn't been adversely affected by COVID-19. But I'll tell you what we would love to offer, and then I'll talk to you about what the reality is. In the past, we've offered wraparound care. We still offer breakfast club. At the moment, we're tendering for a after-school club, which will be in place in September. We have the music tuition from Brighton and Hove, which I've spoken about. We have very active and successful sporting partnerships across the schools in our locality. Before COVID, we were enjoying fixtures in a range of sports. Because of COVID, we haven't been able to do those fixtures. We're very successful at sport. We win a lot of trophies, and I keep them outside my office because they make me feel good when I see them. So I'm looking forward to our resumption of the sporting partnerships because we're really good at that. And children obviously really enjoy that, and it helps promote their healthy lifestyles. Residential trips take place in year 5 and 6. Again, COVID put paid to that in the spring and summer term. So our year 6 weren't able to have the farewell that they richly deserve, but that will be resumed as soon as we can. Residential trips are a great way of building student confidence and resilience and independence. And it's also a really nice way of, particularly year 5 and 6, being at the top of the school, just showing a little bit more independence and maturity. Because of my background in secondary, there are rich opportunities to liaise with local secondary heads and local secondary schools. And what that looks like is us utilising their equipment and their facilities to forward the work of our children. So examples of that would be in subjects like science, food technology, design technology, anything where heavy equipment that we can't have in our place, we can just take a short trip into Brighton and our children can begin to use those pieces of equipment. Also, obviously helps with regards to transition, because these children get used to being in different secondary schools, and it helps inform the next step choices, which I talked about before. And finally, just two, well, actually three messages, two from parents and one from children. One of the drawbacks of having a virtual open evening like this one is that you don't actually get to see the children who are without doubt the best advocates and ambassadors for our school. Yesterday, I had an assembly with year 4 and year 3. I said we were going to be involved in a Zoom meeting, and if they had the chance, what would they communicate to you? And there's the A3 bit of paper, actually it's bigger than that we used in assembly. They love their sport. You'll see that Danny Dog makes an appearance. They learn about love, they have fun, they make friends. They think it's really important to tell you that they've got 2 playgrounds. Someone's put best head teacher on there. That's not my handwriting, I hasten to add. Everybody gets on with each other and everybody is friendly. That's what the children would say. And I promise there was no leading the witness on that whatsoever. I'm just going to finish before we talk about next steps with just a couple of messages from parents, which came, I didn't ask for these, they came to me. And I just thought it would be really helpful for you to hear what they're saying. So this is a parent of a child called Zoe. She's in the lower end of the school. She's in year 1. This parent talks about, was always putting the student needs, the emotional needs first. That makes the parent happy to know every day she's being taught and looked after by a lovely team of people who really do care. And that is absolutely true. And then she goes on to talk about the challenges that we've had with the coronavirus pandemic. That's not something that's particular to our school, of course. I think that every school has responded amazingly well to the pressures of COVID-19, and that she thanks us for our work within that area. And this is a parent of someone in reception saying that her daughter absolutely loves attending school. This next bit interested me. She comes in happier and she comes in happy and she goes home even happier. So that's amazing. She adores her teachers. She enjoys her learning, and this parent finds the communication between the school superb, and they couldn't be happier, which I think is perfect. Okay, at this point, it might be that you would like to find out more. It might be that something of what I've said and presented to you this evening has piqued your interest and you want to do some more investigative work. Absolutely, I completely understand that. On the website, that's the banner of the website at the bottom of that page. On the website, you'll find virtual tours of the site. They're not highfalutin, very expensive tours of site. They're me talking over a video that I've created on my phone. To be honest, I'd rather spend the money on the children than create an amazing tour. But so you'll see, but it's me on my phone talking about different aspects of the site. There's opportunities of you to tour the school with me if you would like to. And those tours are going to take place on Thursdays across November. I think there's about 4 or 5 different Thursdays in November. Obviously, we've got to be really careful. The way to do that and to book a place on that, and please do book, if you just turn up, I might not be able to let you in. I've got a limit of numbers of people that I can have in the school at any one time. Please do ring the school and say you'd like to spend some time with me, and I'll take you on a tour. The tours will be conducted by myself, no more than 5 other people. I need you to wear masks and sanitize your hands. I will also do the same. We'll keep a distance of 2 meters. They'll start at 4 o'clock, like I say, because then all the children have gone, so risks are very much reduced. But I'd love to take you around the school and show you it and meet you face to face, in addition to spending time with us tonight. If you take me up on that offer or not, there's a third option, which is you might just want to talk with me. That's absolutely fine. Again, ring the office, just say, has Paul got any time? I'll find time to talk with you, and we can do that over the phone if there's any particular things that you need clarification over.